What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Anything podcast, where we talk about everything and anything. This week, I'm sitting down with Will Ramos. Will is a metal singer known for Lorna Shore. He's also really big into drifting. As a guy that I mean, really enjoyed his music ever before I got a chance to meet him. And now it's really cool to say that we've become friends. So this episode, we obviously talk a lot about music, talk about the new album coming up, the new tour coming up for Lorna Shore. We also get into a bunch of different drifting details. It was really cool. It was basically just a hangout with somebody that I just enjoyed chatting with. So if you really, really like drifting, if you really like metal music, and even if you don't, we really do talk about everything and anything. But first, we have to take a minute to thank our sponsor. This week, we are brought to you by Grinds. What Grinds are? They are coffee pouches. I mean, not just coffee pouches. They have non-coffee ones as well. But essentially, it is a caffeine pouch. So if you want the kind of boost that comes with caffeine without having to run to the bathroom all the time, or if you want to, curb some cravings for snacks, these peanut butter cup ones or the cinnamon roll ones have been fantastic. It's a great way to kind of get that flavor without having to worry about eating a whole bunch of stuff. If you are trying to get off of other pouches, this is a great alternative as well. They come in a lot of different flavors, a lot of different strengths, everything from 0 caffeine to 100 milligrams if you really, really need a big kick. If you want to try them for right now, for the listeners of the show, you can use Drift 10 at checkout, save 10%. Like I said, I really like the flavored ones, but mint, what else we got here? We've got American mint. They have so many different flavors. They have a bunch of limited flavors as well. So make sure to check back often. Grab yourself a nice big bundle. You're going to really, really enjoy these, trust me. So head over to getgrinds.com. Use code DRIFT10, that's DRIFT10 at checkout for 10% off. Getgrinds.com. Save yourself some money. But without further ado, this is my podcast with Will Ramos. All right. Dude, I gotta kick off with Billiam. I was actually having a debate kicking this off by just calling you Bill to start with.
Hell yeah. It works out perfectly.
Yeah. When I saw that pop, I was like, dude, Billiam, he's already leaned into a joke I haven't told yet.
Bro, I'm in your freaking brain right now, dude. You don't even know.
That. Are you actually a Bill? Like, is this the biggest secret you've been holding back all these years?
So, fun fact, actually, back in the day, I mean, I've always been Will, William, whatever. When I was in, high school, early college days, I started telling people to call me Billy.
Okay.
Don't ask me why. I was just, in my brain at the time, I was like, this would be a really cool idea. And it ended up actually kind of, though it's damn, that's kind of dumb, it actually worked out because at a time, my old band was we were blowing up a little bit, and there were so many people that I was meeting, and it was hard to keep track of the people that I actually knew and the people who I didn't know. And it got to the point where when somebody would come up to me and they'd be like, yo, Billy, I would be like, I don't know that guy. You know what I mean? Straight up. He might come over to me and be like, yo, dude, we go back to the fucking, you remember, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
yeah,
Billy, I don't know what you're talking about, dude. And that was a good time. I've had
smart,
one person
though.
try and come back to the green room, and they were like, oh, yo, somebody says that they know Billy, and they go back with him several years and shit. And I'm like, I don't know that guy. Honestly, I should have kept that going. That probably would have saved my ass today.
Yeah, it's kind of smart just because you can almost define what era you met somebody, right? I feel like everybody's kind of got those genres they go through growing up where it's you get known for one thing, and then people always refer back to it. Yo, you remember when we used to do this thing? Dude, that was 15 years ago. I'm a completely different person at this point.
Exactly. I'm going to have to start changing my name every 5 years so I can mark the era of me.
Maybe as the music gets more serious, you become William, and that's where it goes.
William would definitely be a sophisticated approach to me. I'll take it. That's when I start smoking cigars and reading books and shit.
Swapping from manga to actual novels.
Exactly.
That's the day right?
To manga that's physical. Come on.
Right. Yeah. Are you physical manga reader or are you digital? Like where are you at with that?
I'm usually a digital reader, but I will say
Okay.
I was just talking to my hair cutter person yesterday, and she was telling me, she was like, dude, fucking, I read Berserk, but I only read Berserk hard style, not fucking soft style, phone style. And I was like, that's so crazy because I haven't read a physical manga since I was probably in high school, bro. Like those were some of the first books I ever got was that. And then like I was so broke that I figured out how to just get it for free online. And then it never occurred to me to go back to reading physical books again. And I would like to get back into it, it's just sometimes they take too damn long, you get a chapter every week, bro. It's like, what do we got this week? Oh, 5 new chapters. Great, let's go. And you fly through it, and then next week you got all of them again. You don't got to wait like 2 months for a damn book.
Well, it's the logistics of travel, right? It's like, I'm sure you've learned to like cut out things that aren't necessary when you're traveling that much. Cause it's like everything that you bring, you have to carry with you, or you have to store, or you have to remember, and swapping around to shit all the time. It's like, I mean, it's more stuff to lose and deal with all the, like on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I'm terrible with that though. I love just buying bullshit, man, and then losing it and buying it again. I'm not gonna lie, on the note of all this car stuff that we're doing right now, there was one time I literally ordered a set of wheels and then like forgot that I ordered the set of wheels off of eBay. And then I went through my Gmail and I'm like trying to find the freaking wheels, and I'm like, did I ever place this order? I'm like, I guess I didn't. I'm going to order them again. And I ordered it again. They showed up like the next day. I was like, bro, this is service. I'm like, dude, this is great. You order wheels, they show up the next day. I realized several days later that another set of wheels had showed up, and it was actually the first set of wheels that arrived. It was incredible. So,
It's good for drift spares though. Like that's the upside with drifting. Is like you need as many wheels as you can get. I don't know if it was for the drift car for
hell
the
yeah,
Audi or something else.
Yeah, for the drift car for sure.
What'd you end up going with on it?
Some freaking Aodon. It was like one of the first wheels that I ever bought for the Z, dude. I'm not gonna lie. It was I still use them. I think they're on my Z right now, actually. Right now.
Oh man.
Classics, bro. Classics.
Yeah.
Cheap as hell. $500. Come on.
It's drift wheels are so tough because you don't like there's the go Stancy Boy, go with like some Blitz or something like that where you're like, these are baller wheels. And then you don't want to break them. And then it's like, okay, do you go with cheap wheels that are disposable, but they break, much more often? You got to buy several sets, or do you go like somewhere in the middle that are like, they look good, but they don't look amazing, but they're kind of durable. Like it's a hard call. It seems like you went the kind of disposable route.
Hell yeah. And I'll tell you, I haven't done anything to these. I mean, there was to be fair, there was a time where the tire came off. I was riding straight wheel to ground. It got a little fucked up, but you know what? Shit still rides perfectly, dude. Perfect. So you know what? I don't care what anybody says, disposable or not. These things they are tanks. It's like a Z, like a 350Z. It's a fucking tank, So haven't broken on me yet. Still rocking them. It's been a year and a half. Obviously, I'm not riding no FD car shit, but
nah,
it is what it is.
How have you looked at any other cars at this point? Like obviously the Z's been really good to you, but like at what point do you get the itch to be like, okay, I want to build like a Pro-Am car or a higher level car?
Dude, every night I go to sleep and I smoke a little bit of weed sometimes. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that here, but I said it.
I know you're good. You're good.
All right,
good.
so I'll smoke a little weed. I'll be like laying down on my couch and shit, and I'm like, let's just look. Let's just look around and see what's going on. Honestly, RX-7's hard. Those things go crazy. I mean, they just look fucking crazy. The problem is I don't know anything about like rotary engines and like how to do anything like that. So it's like, for me, I mean, I don't know. There's so many cars that I just look at because I always just see them on Instagram and I'm like, damn, dude, the only problem is you got to drive them in real life to even know if it like fits what you're looking for. My car buddies all drive S13s and S14s. I'm like the only Z guy or a G35, you know, and there's no way I'm getting a fucking G35. I think that is the worst car to look at. You're sorry.
Killing me here, bro. You're killing me here.
I'm fucking sorry, dude. My friend has one, and my friend Beans, he's one of the Bloodmaster dudes. He rocks a red G35, and I look at it, and I'm like, bro, honestly, you should have just got a Z. You should have it's the same fucking thing, except it looks way doper.
All right. I'll give you that. It definitely looks better, but do you have the hate for the coupes as well as the 4-doors, or like do you have any, you know, preference between the two?
Coupe all day, baby. All fucking day. You know, I got
at least I got the coupe. I'll take that.
I got a R32 that I've been like just holding on to for freaking ever. It needed to get a new title. The title got messed up. Now the freaking thing is getting painted. At one point, I bought that from Japan so that would be my track car. Right, and I was like, one day I'm going to soup this thing up. But the car just ended up being so clean. Like, clean, bro. Like, no rust, no nothing. It is immaculate. The interior looks fucking awesome. And then I was like, I don't know if I should even take this to the track. So it's like, I feel like I take one step forward and then like 2 steps back. So as far as I'm concerned right now, it's like, just get better at the Z's. And maybe one day I'll get like, when I'm feeling like locked in, I'll start working towards a pro car. But I mean, listen,
I think just drop an LS, like either in that or get another Z and cage it and LS it. And because you already know how the platform runs. So that'd be my go-to.
Well, my plan, I have 2 Z's right now. One of them is an HR, the other one's a DE. I mean, now that I'm like, I swear to God, East Coast Bash, baby, this weekend. It's this motherfucking weekend. And I'm stoked because I'm actually going to drive. The DE is fixed because it wasn't running. We just fixed it yesterday. Don't ask me what broke because we literally unplugged the fuse, plugged the fuse back in, car started working. So you got to love drift cars. It's always a freaking...
Yeah, it's a fuse or a ground or something stupid. Yeah, it's always something dumb.
And dude, I'm locked in on the DE, bro. I'm like, I'm going to freaking A-class, A group this weekend. This is the freaking weekend. Bim, bam, boom. And then hopefully if that happens or when it happens, I'm manifesting it right now in this podcast. This is manifesting. Then I'm gonna try an LS3, the DE.
Okay.
Because I need more horsepower, bro. The damn thing it was cool when I first started drifting like a year and a half ago, but now it's just like, bro, this thing is slow as shit.
Yeah, it's once you can outdrive the car, that's when it's time to upgrade. Like so many people make the jump way too early and it becomes you're spending an entire year not enjoying the car because you couldn't drive what you had before. But I don't know, I got to see you drive. I think you're ready. I think it's just as much reps as you can get.
You didn't even see me in my prime, dude. You saw me on the HR, the thing. I kept spinning out. So it's a completely different setup between the two of them. And I was used to the DE. So I was just like, I'm dealing with more horsepower. And I'm like, yo, I'm supposed to look cool, bro. I got invited to come out here and I'm driving this car and I'm fucking spinning around and stuff. And I'm like, wow, this is the craziest driving experience I've ever had in my entire life.
Nah, you did good. I mean, and drifting's such an even playing field. Like I remember talking to like Reese and Chris Knapp when you started driving and stuff. And like, I think that was before you and I actually started talking. And, I was like, oh shit, like make sure to treat this guy well. Cause I was like, if this dude becomes an advocate for the sport, that's massive. Like, for everything. And Reese told me, he's like, yeah, I think I gave him shit like a couple of weeks ago.
100%.
For what? He's like, he's being a dick or something. And I just jumped in and like,
No way, you would never say that.
No, I think you did like a burnout on it. Like you spun out and just kept the tires smoking and like smoked out the track.
I would never do that. But I will say he has given me advice. So I have come to him for advice in the past. Yeah. I will. I try and be good. People expect Will to be rock star. Will doesn't give a shit about anything. He's going to go to the track and fucking burn it up, whatever. Nah. I try and be like, chill, nice with everybody. If my car breaks down over here, like I try not to leave it at the track because if I can't get it out of there, I don't want him to think that I'm just leaving it there. Even though I live 10 minutes away, it's like, no, I'm going to come back and get it. I try and be as respectful as I can. Everybody at Club Loose is so sick.
Yeah. I just like that there's egos in drifting, but it's one of those like your driving is what your driving is. You can talk as much shit as you want, you can whatever, but like when it comes down to actually driving, completely even playing field. Doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, how famous you are in some other space. Like doesn't matter, especially in New Jersey, like especially at E-Town. That's such a, I don't know, like it's such a different feeling. It's obviously East Coast, but like it's so East Coast, especially at that track.
Oh, dude. I mean, I'll say sometimes like I forget like how good people are like at drifting and like, cause I'll just be at the track. I'll just be hanging out with some guy that I'm just like, oh, is like my friend. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, oh, you want to go drive? Yeah, it's a private day. Let's go freaking drive. And we're driving together and I'm like, holy shit, this guy is fucking insane. And you know, maybe it's like Jimmy Oaks I was just driving with Jimmy Oaks like the other day. I was like, this guy is freaking. Like, first of all, he has way more horsepower than I do. He should not be driving with me. He's about to run me off the track. But, like, it's crazy to just see, like, how humble everybody is. And then you just put them on the track and you're like, everybody's a beast. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you don't even expect it. Nobody has that ego. It's exactly what you're saying. It's like an even playing field until you get to that point where you're on the track and you're like, wow, this person's fucking insane. I'm trying to get there right now. East Coast Bash, baby, this weekend. I'm coming for you.
It would be cool to see how much driving you can do in other places. I mean, I looked at the tour schedule and like, there's no time, but
I thought that was one thing. Part, dude. Weren't you mentioning one thing at some point?
There was one event where you're like 2 or 3 hours away that we could like try and meet up. And I think it was in Europe. So I'll go back and take a look at that again. But I don't know if that's a driving thing. That's more of a spectator thing, but I think there's one time this year where you and I cross over somewhere in Europe.
You gotta love it.
We'll figure it out.
You gotta love it, dude. Can you imagine linking up in Europe? I'm like, just us sick. Two American people just like broing down in Europe. Like, dude, how are we here right now in the same place at the same time in the other side of the world?
It has to line up at some point. There's too much shit going on. It's just like, I don't know. I don't know how you do the like every day or every other day when it comes to that schedule though. I'm bitching about my schedule being gone for 100 days. I'm like, you're at what, 200 this year?
I don't even know. This last year was actually pretty lax because we were doing a lot of going back in the studio, which I can now talk about. Yay.
Yes,
but
finally.
I couldn't tell people we were going to the studio, but now it's like, okay, I can finally, because the songs are coming out now, you know, that's what's going on. But we had a lot of downtime, honestly. I missed FD because I was in the studio and I missed a lot of things because we were in the studio. So it's been like it's been a long freaking road, dude. We didn't do a lot of touring for that reason. Like touring usually is about a month and a half, maybe 3 or 4 tours a year. I think this last year we just did like 1, maybe 2, like max. Like, and that was including Japan, Australia. And that was more of a vacation than a freaking tour as far as I'm concerned. We were freaking like, yo, we're going to the beach, baby. We're in Australia. We're going to the freaking beach. And so I don't know. I think this next year, especially because we got a whole bunch of music coming out, is going to be a lot busier. And I'll tell you right now, you're asking me how I do it. I'm not exactly looking forward to it. I do love being home. I love being with my cats. I love driving, but you know, you got to go do what you got to do. So it's a job. I mean, like not taking anything away from what you do, but like at the end of the day, you still have to clock in. You still have to do the work. I mean, even in between right now, you and I trying to get this sorted, it was like, okay, I've got this meeting and that meeting and I got to jump to this thing and this is running late. And it's like, I think people forget that they show up, they see the album come out or they see the stage presence and they're like, man, it's got to be incredible. And it's like, that's that, you know, hour, 2 hour on stage that's the reward for everything that goes on before the show even kicks off. Oh, absolutely, dude. I mean, you know, it's a job. I mean, I say this all the time. You know, it's a job when you wake up one day and you really don't want to go to work. You know what I mean? Like you feel like crap. I don't know. You're sick. You ate something bad. You got food poisoning now. And you know what? You still gotta freaking eat a Pepto-Bismol or throw an Advil in your mouth and then you still gotta go to work. You hurt your
Yeah.
knee, you want to relax, you still got to go. And that's when everything starts to, you start to realize that you're like, wow, this is, as much as you are having fun, you can't leave.
Well, and there's so many people that depend on you being there, your presence, not just the fans, but like, people who are employed and the clubs and everything else. Like, I just finished Fahrenheit 182, Mark Hoppus's book, and he talks about him becoming a germaphobe because he was so afraid of missing a show. And he was like, I'd shake someone's hand and like immediately sanitize, because he's like, if I get sick, all these people lose their pay or they can't do this stuff. So,
dude, I was
can
doing the
only
same.
imagine.
I was
Really?
literally doing the same. At one point, I used to do Patreon meet and greets, and it was
Right. Yeah, the Rat Club.
Yeah, Rat Club. We were doing them freaking all, like, I don't remember what tour it was. It was one of the first US tours where or maybe the second US tour after I started doing meet and greets. So people started to catch on that I was doing them. And it went from like 5 to 10 people at a meet and greet, which was dope, to like 80 to 100 people. And I was like, oh my God, there's so many people here. All it takes is one person to cough into their hand and forget, and then they shake my hand because, like, I don't know, some people, dude, it's crazy. Like, I look at them and they look at me like, and I'm like, it's all good. Like, I'm cool. Don't worry. We here. But then they may have forgotten in that one moment where they were like, holy crap, they forgot that they sneezed in their hand and now they want to go and shake my hand. And that's okay. Yeah. Like, I get it. But so I got my hand sanitizer. I used to have it all the time in my pocket. And I actually literally, despite that, somehow still got sick on tour. And I had to stop doing meet and greets. And now, like, I can't even do them as often. It's because any one person, it's not like playing a guitar where it's like you get a cough, you can still play the guitar. You get a cough and you're doing vocals, it's a fucking nightmare, and everybody gets colds. Everybody.
Yeah, I can only imagine, dude. Like that would be brutal. Like it's one of the only, it's the only time where your instrument is built into you.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have a choice. Like, there's drummers with one arm, there's drummers with no arms. I mean, there's ways around certain things, and like people can sub out for certain instruments, but it's very rare that someone subs out on vocals and everybody's okay with it.
Exactly. Right? And you know what? Still, regardless, we'll still have somebody. God forbid, I'm going to tell you right now, God forbid, anybody gets sick in this bus of 16 people or 12 people, which is a lot of people in like I don't know how big a bus is. It's big, but it's small. You know what I mean? When you have 12 people, it's small. And, one person gets sick and they're around stagehands or, they get sick, everybody in the bus gets sick. It's like a domino. It's like the bubonic plague of the cold. And everybody's just getting cold.
Yeah.
And there's always the same dude on my bus who always gets sick every year. I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're doing. Go to sleep earlier. Drink more freaking water. So I'm going to buy you orange juice, whatever you need to not get sick. Every day, every time.
Just like, please, dude. Like, I'm gonna buy you vitamins. I'm gonna ship all this in. Like, we're gonna make sure that you're set for this season.
I'm buying ginger shots every day if I have to make sure that you by yourself doesn't get sick.
That's funny.
Yeah,
that's funny.
So that's
oh, dude.
That's that. Tour is great.
How are the vocal cords holding up like throughout these tours, man? I mean, as from one raspy person to another, I know how quickly it is to have everything kind of clog up.
I mean, some days are better than others, obviously. It really depends. You have shows where you do like 5 days in a row, and those days are like all hour and a half long sets, and there's no way by that 5th day your vocals are feeling freaking incredible, and then you need a day off, and you have the day off, and then you get better. Like, it's almost like you just can't work out something every single day. It doesn't matter what it is, whether you're in the gym or you're doing something else, just not exactly good for it. And specifically vocals, I now have like a 3-day threshold. I tell my manager, I say, hey, if we're doing a tour, we're not doing more than 3 days. We could do 4 days and then have a day off, but it better be there better be like 1 or 2 throughout an entire tour. We had one tour. It was like, the tour started 7 days on, no days off.
Man.
And then 5 days on, 5 days on, 4 days on. And then it ended with like an 8-day run back to back. And by that 8th day, my vocals, I couldn't talk to people. I was like, don't talk to me. I'm not talking until I do this set. I'm doing the set. And there will not be another day after this. And that was, fortunately, it was the last day of tour, but
yeah, it's a tough run.
Nightmare, bro. Now vocals are locked in. This new album, baby, I wrote this shit to be a little bit easier, but still hit as hard so I could enjoy being on stage instead of fucking, you know?
Well, there's going to be different, techniques that are just much easier or much more sustainable and stuff like that. So, it's as you said, it's working out muscles. So if you're, maybe more of a legs person, you're going to like, okay, cool. I got crazy endurance in my legs. I'm going to aim towards this as opposed to, I'm not going to lift everything with my arms. Like you got to play to your strengths, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, a bunch of artists have done that throughout the years too. Like I go back and listen to like a Job for a Cowboy, like that first album, there was nothing ever like it. You couldn't keep that going for all those albums, especially the way he was, screaming at that time.
I will say he has this new project. I don't remember what it's called. It was like a side project. Serpent of Gnosis, something of
Sounds about
Gnos. Right. I don't know. It sounds like some really freaking
Davey stuff,
ancient shit. I don't know. And it is literally the hardest shit I've ever heard. And I don't even really like listening to heavy metal so much anymore. And I will tell you, I was listening to this and I was like, none of these vocals make any sense. And they are so sick. He does all of the stuff that he used to do back in the day, and then a bunch of other weird stuff. But he just doesn't. I don't know why he doesn't do it for Job for a Cowboy anymore.
I'm not sure. I think like in 2 Minute Machine and Knee Deep just hit so hard, and then it was like, okay, well, let's go and kind of do something else. I really don't know. I have a feeling maybe something was injured or got hurt or something along those lines, because I saw them right after the second album dropped, and it was different. Like you could tell, not that like it was just an album run where it was just like, okay, you did this for the album and that's it. But he was giving it a go, but it wasn't there in the same way. So I have a feeling he just went too hard, and then it was like, shit, like this is great, but this isn't sustainable.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, sustainable is probably the perfect word, because there's a lot of things that like vocalists can do a whole bunch of unsustainable vocals throughout a whole set. Yeah. It's fine. It's all about, it's like a tool chest, you know what I mean? And certain tools you can only hit once or twice. Other tools, if you keep just smacking it, you're going to wear yourself out and you're not going to be able to finish the set. And I think back in the day when people first started doing vocals, when it was the sickest time for freaking vocals, hell yeah, back in the day, 2012 throwback. That's what all people did, is there was no like vocal science. It was just like scream as much as you can, sound beast, do a lot of double cupping, which usually sounds fucking sick. I don't care at this point. At one point I did. Now I'm like, whatever, do whatever you want to do. But their sets were also like 30 minutes to 45 minutes max. If they were to go for an hour and a half, like they might have a hard time, at least if they did it every day. And so sometimes vocalists, they got to change up the style a little bit. And I mean, what is it? Yeah. They became like more death metal-y or something like that. Yeah, they really did. I mean, you can even go back to like Lamb of God and like, Burn the Priest before that. Like Burn the Priest and Lamb of God, same Randy Blythe, but just like had to tone it back, which is crazy to think that songs like Omerta is like toning back Randy Blythe, like that, Redneck and that, I mean, that whole era. Just nuts. I remember, I think it was one of the behind the scenes where he went and ran an entire block with a cigarette in his mouth, comes back to just do one line when they were recording the album. And it's like, bro, like that sounds incredible, but like, holy shit, talk about taking a massive risk for one line in a song. Dude, the things that people do to put stuff together in the studio is absolutely just like insane. But yeah, I guess if it works, I mean, that's just a testament to just like, maybe it's not, maybe he had to change up his style a little bit because, doing these these super rock star things that we used to do, or that people used to do, is just like not
Yeah.
exactly the best thing in the grand scheme. You know, we have to treat our instrument like, you know, think about like freaking like Lady Gaga or something. She probably has to very much take care of her voice on a daily basis. You know,
Yeah.
certain singers like that, like when they get like sick and they're coughing and like they're just hanging out, like they're not on tour or anything. They almost have to, because you know, if you cough a lot, you'll hurt your throat.
Yeah.
They literally have to train themselves how to cough in a different way so that it doesn't hurt their vocal cords.
Wow.
And
Okay.
it's some things like that they have to do every single day to help take care of their instrument. And then you see metalheads who are over here freaking hanging upside down. You know, they're in the worst vocal posture that you could possibly be in. They're smoking cigs and drinking an entire bottle of like Henny on stage.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, that's fucking awesome. But how are you going to stay on stage for an hour and a half like Lady Gaga? You can't.
Well, it's the difference between the cleanliness in the voice and the dirtiness in the voice. Like in the metal side of things, like we love that dirtiness. Like when someone's got just a crazy low tone, something super guttural, and you can almost feel like every bubble of phlegm come out. You're like, hell yeah, that's amazing. Whereas,
Hell yeah.
you know, on the opposite side, or even going into the operatic side of things, like you want it clean. You want nothing. You want to look at that waveform and it's perfect. So it's just, you know, leaning so hard to the other way. But I mean, there's guys that do it forever that keep it going, and it's incredible.
I will say I've seen a lot of these dudes like who was I listening to? Freaking The Devil Wears Prada. Have you listened to the new Devil Wears Prada?
Yeah. No, not anything new.
Oh, it's so good. Bro, it's good. I think I don't know if it was last year or the year before that, they made it to like my Spotify countdown because it was, or whatever it
really?
was, the one where they tell you your top artists. Because they had this one album that was just like absolutely fantastic. But what I'm getting at is like he had to change his style a lot. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know. The evolution of heavy metal is freaking wild to me right now because we're talking about like stuff from like 2012. And if you compare 2012 era to like now, 13 years later, which is heartbreaking to even say that that's 13, it's now 13 years later. It's just like everything is so different. I don't know.
There's so much more education. Like you look at you know, Melissa Cross and like what she's able to do to educate people and what that's done. Like that's just massive on its own. Like that didn't exist. That just didn't exist back then. I mean, maybe she was working back then, but
she was working back then, but she only worked for the big dogs. And I remember because I was a broke kid who smoked weed all the time and didn't spend money on anything else. I was like, I'm not spending money to get a tape to teach me how to do vocals. I wanted to, but at the time it was just like people like Randy Blythe were going to him, like all the real actual artists. And I mean, partially, I think that is what helped sculpt vocalists to even want to change their style in the first place and just start to think outside the box. So, I mean, now we got a whole bunch. Now you go on freaking YouTube or Instagram, there is just like endless freaking teachers. Man. I'm a teacher, technically. If you go online, you search Will Ramos freaking vocal lessons, they're out there. There's Carnivox Academy. There's a bajillion stuff now. And it's just so cool that, I mean, I did the nasoendoscopy and the needle in the throat experiment and all that stuff. And now it's like screaming. It doesn't say Will Ramos, which is, I know it's Will Ramos, but it says patient 1. I'm patient 1 or patient 0. And it's in a textbook. It's like, could you imagine that 14 years ago, they would be like, yo, heavy metal vocalists will one day be in college universities and you will learn about that shit. And it's like, no, you probably would never even think about that.
Yeah, just utilizing your vocal cords. I mean, it's not even cords at that. I mean, it's false cords and everything else. It's all the flaps, everything that's going on in this area. Yeah,
engine,
we just had
bro.
to study it.
We got we got things flapping around over here, fucking other things doing that.
So I mean, I don't know what sparked it. I could point to you because you're on the show. You could point to a couple of different people, but like, I feel like we're in this crazy arms race right now with who can come up with the most fucked up sounds. Like, To the Hellfire, that was crazy. The pig squeal stuff. But I mean, you could go back further. We talked about Job for a Cowboy. You could talk about even like really early Suicide Silence. You can go back even further than that. But then it was like, you started coming out with shit. After that was Slaughter to Prevail, like the weird crocodile noise that's coming out now. Like, do you see this continuing on? Like, I know you can only talk about certain shit in the album. I don't know if there's something like that's coming up, or you're still thinking about that kind of stuff.
All right, hear me out. I'm throwing this out there because you mentioned it, and it's actually crazy because I was watching somebody mention my friend, somebody posted it on Facebook similar to this, and it actually somewhat like touched on it, and I had a whole bunch of opinions, obviously, that I did not voice, but now I got the mic. Literally speaking, I got a mic, so now I'm voicing it. Okay, Vocal Olympics sucks. I hate this Vocal Olympics. I hate that everyone's all freaking like, dude, there are literally infinite bands now that I've seen people doing on like YouTube that might just be like a studio project, and that's cool, have fun, experiment. But there are literally sounds that like I can't even understand what the heck is going on. Like, it just sounds like somebody just go like, ooh, or like, whoa. And it gets like crazy,
really close, yeah. Crazy
peaked into this oblivion, freaking 8,000 dB shit, and it sounds insane. And then part of me even feels like they're not even doing vocals anymore. Like, it's like, they're just breathing into the microphone. And it's become this thing where it's like, I've seen breakdowns online, and it'll be like after Lorna Shore, and it'll be like some other band doing a breakdown, and it'll just be like, you're just listening to it, you're like, what am I hearing right now? Like, this is just silly, and it doesn't feel like it's a natural thing. And I'm gonna say it. A lot of people may link this to the Hellfire, because to the Hellfire, everyone's like, yo, fucking Lorna Shore put out this thing. Now everyone wants to do this thing. Why would they do that? Bro, we were just trying to put out a nice song. You know what I mean? Like, we weren't like, yo, let's do some crazy Vocal Olympic stuff. We were just like, yeah, I guess that sounds cool. Let's throw it in there. We're not trying to do anything that's like, hasn't been done at all. Yeah. Literally.
It was just a void in the song, right? It was a natural break, and you're like, okay, let's do something stupid.
Let's throw something in. Let's fucking Dickie Allen the shit out of this. And I was like, all right, cool, sounds good, it's done. And then done. It was all said and done. And we were like, let's put it out. We put it out, and it did great. Then people started doing all this crazy stuff. And then now, literally, dude, somebody came up to us in a well-renowned band whose name I will not mention right now. We went on tour with a very long time ago. And they were like, yo, are you putting more of the freaking and all this stuff into the new album? And we were like, no. This is back when Pain Remains was still going on. And I was like, no, we're not doing, that's not like our thing. We don't want to be like the band who's just always trying to do something crazy. We just want to make good music. And I think on this album specifically, there are some parts that are like sick. They're very small, like as far as like doing those crazy vocal techniques, but they're not like, we're not trying to showcase it as like, this song is only this vocal technique. Like when you listen to the Hellfire, if you watch it live, you can see the difference of phones that are out between the beginning and the end of the song. Because by the time everybody listens to like, oh yeah, fucking, we love this song, but they actually don't really care too much about it. They care more for that last 10 seconds of the song, We're trying to write music, specifically on this album, that's just like the whole song in itself is good. And there are going to be smaller parts that you're going to be like, yo, that vocal thing was pretty cool. But in totality, it's just a good song. And I think there's a lot of shit going on this new album, dude. It is like, I can't even begin to tell you. I don't want to say like technique-wise, but it's just like, it's super diverse, dude. There's so many different inspirations that you can hear going on, but it all still sounds like Lorna. And I still do that sometimes, and Nothing. No crocodile, alligator, giraffe, rhinoceros.
We're not moving through. We're not moving through the animal farm of like, okay, next up, it's going to be the echidna. I'm doing platypus sounds now. And that's
dude, that would be crazy. Yeah.
I mean, listen, I got pigeonholed into the whole like teal hat thing. So like, I can only imagine what it's like being, stuck in like, that's what people know you for. It's like, cool. That's awesome. I'm glad that's what got you here. But like, understand there's so much more going on. And I hope that hook got you to the door, and then I can pull you through the rest of the way. You can see what the rest of this house looks like.
Yeah. Like you just showed up to work one day with a hat that was teal.
Yeah.
Like you weren't like, I'm going to be the teal hat guy today. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're just like, my hat's teal is what I showed up to work wearing today. And then now you're the teal hat guy. And it's like,
I mean, some of it's like, on my end of things is like, okay, I work in marketing for a living. So I saw something that was like an easily marketable idea. And I was like, hey, nobody's using this color. Nobody's doing this stuff. It's got a bit of tie to like my Canadian background, like the toque and all that shit. And then honestly, for me, it was this one dude commented, because we batch recorded the podcast, like 3 episodes in a day. So the first 3 episodes, I'm wearing that hat. And I wasn't planning on continuing to wear it, but some dude in like episode 2 put like, take off that stupid fucking hat. And I'm so petty that I'm like, no. And I knew immediately that hat caused a reaction. So I was like, okay, cool. There's something here. It's recognizable. Like just the marketer in me went off and I was like, fuck this guy. I'm wearing this all the time. So now I have the hat. The original hat is framed on my wall with the YouTube comment below it. And I'm like, thanks, brother. Like this thing's taken on a life of its own.
Dude, now it's famous because of that guy hating on it. Is it an F beanie?
It is. Yeah, it's originally an F beanie.
Woo!
Yeah.
Bro, 2012 Zoomies hitting hard right now.
Exactly.
Jesus
exactly. I mean,
Christ.
that's your, yeah, you and I are about the same age. I think I'm a couple years older than you, but yeah, it's that era, man. It was the formative years for both of us and for a lot of people, right? Like
definitely, at least for all the cool people.
Yeah. Everybody else, like it sucks. It sucks, but hey, this is when things were awesome.
Exactly. It was when smoking cigarettes and drinking beers in the mall parking lot was the thing to do every week. Yo, what are you doing? You want to go to the mall and be a rat? Hell yeah, we're mall rats today. We're gonna go get some Four Locos when they still had energy in them.
And then the caffeine
illegally from our friend who has a fake ID. Woo.
Oh fuck!
We do not condone any of this, by the way.
Allegedly,
like that would be hypothetical if that were to happen. Obviously,
not us doing it, just stories that we've heard. Yeah.
Yes. So, but you could do it.
I can hear. I can hear your PR person freaking out right now. Do I need to send this to like your PR manager? I should probably send this to your PR person. He's gonna be like,
I don't know if he can say that. Mute that out. Get that shit out of there.
I'm gonna get notes back and be like, basically this is gonna get cut down to 10 minutes by the time
literally. Will cannot talk about album or people that he hates or Olympics or anything else like that.
Okay, listen, like I don't know any other version of Will than the one you and I've hung out, which admittedly we chatted a bit and like hung out a few times, but do you ever get frustrated by that? Like now being a professional, being like, shit, I can't jump in here. Like those comments and stuff. Cause I had that happen recently. There's this big drifting drama. Shocker, right? That there's drama and drifting. And I'm like, I want to jump into this. I just want to crack some skulls and get online and be like, you guys are all fucking idiots. This is the story. And I'm like, I can't. There's no benefit to me. This is only going to make me look like an idiot.
Dude, I actually wrote a song on the new album that's about, literally about that. Like the idea that you just like, and it's funny because my friend called me the other day and he was just like, my girlfriend is telling me about this thing and we're fighting about this, or she's telling me about this. And I really want to give her my opinion, but I don't know if it's a good idea. And I'm like, I'm going to tell you right now, I have learned in all of my years of doing things online and sometimes giving opinions, sometimes your opinion is good. But if you're not agreeing with somebody, usually you don't want to even voice your opinion. And because it's just like, as soon as you start saying something, there's always going to be someone who's going to say, hell yeah. And there's always going to be someone who's going to be like, hell fucking no. And I've noticed that like online, like I don't post any opinions anymore. And I actually forgot that it's like so ingrained in me now that like I usually don't give people like very opinionated things like, oh, what do you think about this? It's not for me. I'm not gonna be like, oh, yo, that fucking sucks. Like that, I don't like that. Because as soon as you start wording shit like that, then you have people in the comments like, oh, yo, fucking, he said SR fucking 20 sucks, bro. Fuck him, yo. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I'll be like, bro, it's just not for me. I don't like the sound of it. It's fine. I can move on with my life. You know, and it's like
good way of putting it, though. Yeah, it's not for me. I might steal that.
It's just not for me. You know, I'm not trying to put down what anybody else does or what anybody, if they like doing it, fuck it, you know, do it. It's just, that's not what I do. And it's not what I want to do. So, and it's come to the point where like I had to write a song about it because it was just like, there's so many times that like I'll see something just like what you're saying online and I'll start going in, dude. I'm sitting on my phone for like 30 minutes. Like I start writing something and then I look at it and I'm like, that's too opinionated. We got to get rid of that. Then I put something else in there and I'm like, that could probably be funnier. Yeah. It's not very funny. You know what I mean? Like it just feels like too informational. And I start deleting it again and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I literally just delete the whole, if I catch myself trying to respond to something and it takes more than 5 seconds of my brain power, it's not worth writing. You know what I mean? I'll say something like, yo, the color red is red. And that's dope. No, red is not dope. What the fuck, dude? Are you crazy? Red is is the opposite of dope. Everybody knows that. And it's, woo.
What a crazy place for inspiration. Like you talked, like Oblivion is from Interstellar. Pain Remains kind of like pull stuff from Sleepy Princess and the Demon Castle, and now you're pulling stuff from like not being able to fucking comment on the internet.
Yeah, I will say this new album is very personal, I guess is the word to describe it. I've written a lot of stuff in the past that are just like fictional things or like fictional stuff that has like a story behind it that's like kind of dope, you know, maybe you'll get down with it and you hear the moral touches you in a very appropriately way that makes you like the song. And so you're like, okay, that's dope. But now we're trying
Pain Remains 1, 2, 3 is like the prime example of that, right? Like that's
exactly
that. Like if you don't feel something with that song, like you don't have a heart. Like it's just, even if you don't like, I've shown that song, like those songs. I mean, it is one song really, but like I've shown that to people. I'm like, you may not like metal, but just fucking listen to this or read the lyrics. If you can't understand them, read the lyrics and nothing else. And like, tell me what this is. And yeah, it's wild, but that's sick though, that there's more of that coming.
Oh, dude, there is. I really tried to lean into a lot of that because I mean, I watch other bands, dude, and like I read the stuff that they're saying, and I'm just like, that resonates so well with me. And it's not a fictional thing. It's just like somebody just saying how they feel, and they're not overthinking it, and it's all about the execution of it that really just makes me feel like I love that. And I think I started to take stuff from that. I was like, okay, let's write simpler lines, but that are executed in a way that really makes you feel something. Like you could say something and like, you are the stars and the fucking ground and the trees. Or you could be like, you are my everything. Super small, gets everything out there, sounds hard as shit. So I try to like dive into a lot of those and just take all of my own, you know, things that have happened over the last couple of years that I've learned from, you know, writing music. And there's much less, honestly, I think there's like 2 fictional songs on the entire album. Like 8 of of the other songs are just real life stuff that like I've either dealt with or, you know, I've been through in my life. I have one song that I wrote specifically like about my father, and it was like, a lot of people don't know me when I was a kid. Obviously, they just knew me as an adult, but like we had a long history of like goods and bads, and to me, this is my Pain Remains of this album, and I honestly think it's one of the best songs that I've ever written, ever. And it's like when you write something and you're just like, as a person, even if nobody else likes it, you love it, then you know you did a good job, and that's how I feel about that one.
Yeah, it's important though. That like provides the passion behind the album too, right? Like if you're just writing songs to write songs, then I think it comes across. Like we can all point to albums where you're like, okay, cool, you guys did this because you had to finish out a contract on on a record label or something like that, and you threw together what was left over, and that's the album. But like, arguably, the second album is always going to be the toughest one. Although Lorna Shore's not 2 albums, but the
LP5, baby.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's that album is tough, man, and like there's such high expectations coming off the previous one.
That's definitely the biggest problem.
That's got to be the scariest part.
I mean, for me, it is exactly how you're saying, my second album. And I want to write the best stuff that I can. People love Pain Remains. It's hard to write something, keeping something else in mind to be better than that.
Yeah.
So I think, and in a way, it's almost like knowing that there are expectations of you almost not just ruins the writing process, but it also makes you start writing stuff that's like not exactly authentic to you because you know that other people want to hear it. Because there's an expectation to do the snarls. Let's do some freaking more to the Hellfire. And it's like, you know what? We don't really want to do that anymore. We just kind of want to write good music. So
I assume anybody listening probably knows some of the history of Lorna Shore, but like it's rotated through band members pretty heavily since the beginning. But like you jumping in, did you immediately jump into the songwriting role? Like, because you kind of demoed with the band, filled in for a little bit. COVID hits, then it's like, shit, I don't even know if I'm in this band now. And you are, and then it's like, hey, we're gonna trial this kid out. It seemed like it was like a weird intro to the band, and it was like, because you guys did like a 3-song LP, and that was just a demo to see if you even fit. Like, talk about a crazy way to get into all this shit. Like, I'm in the band, I'm not in the band. I'm in the band, I'm not in the band. Shit, this song blows up. Okay, I'm definitely in the band now.
It was pretty much like when we were still on the COVID tour, and I remember asking them, and I was just like, am I in? Like, because my other band is like really worried, like if I'm leaving them or not. And they were like, yeah, like, do you want to try being in? And I was just like, hell yeah, I want to try being in, dude. I'm like, I am in that shit. They're like, great, because we could start writing a couple songs just to feel it out, like how you're saying.
Yeah.
And then I pretty much just hopped right into it, because when COVID ended, or when COVID like first hit, rather, I kind of knew maybe 2 or 3 weeks later that I was in the band, because we had to start setting up studio time and all that. So it was really quick. I remember the idea was to get a new vocalist and then put out new music immediately, because of the whole shit that happened in the past, because COVID hit, because, every situation. So it's like, if we're going to do something, we need to do it now and put our best foot out there. So that's why we only wrote 3 songs. That's why we didn't write a full EP. Like, EPs are usually like 5 or 6 songs. Like, we literally were like, 3 songs, just tell people that we're not dead yet, because we can live through everything that's happened. And it ended up being the 3 biggest songs that we had at the time. And then, TikTok, COVID. It just feel like I was thrown into the sharks like immediately.
Yeah, I mean, mind the pun, but like to the Hellfire immediately right off the bat. It's like, you'd jumped around a couple of different bands, did all these covers and stuff, and like everything was going well, fill in, and then it's like, oh shit, fucking overnight became one of the most notable people in metal. Like that's a trip, dude. I don't care who you are. Like that whole thing. You and I talked a little bit about it in New Jersey, but like that's such a weird thing that a human being has to go through, regardless of it, of going from like trying really hard to do music for a living to them being like, oh, I've got interviews with all these labels and all these people and magazines and shit, and like everybody wants to talk to me and everybody wants to meet me. Like, how often did you have to like step back and be like, what the fuck is going on?
Dude, it's surreal every day. It feels so. I remember listening to Jamie's Elsewhere and just being like, dude, this is the best band ever. 2012. And I'm like, yo, this is the best band ever, you know? Like I love this band. And now it's like I remember we were doing a meet and greet somewhere, and we had Of Mice and Men right next to us. We were doing the meet and greet with Of Mice and Men on the same table.
Damn.
Don't ask me how that worked out. It was a nightmare, but they decided to put it together like that. And I realized that later on, anyway, that Aaron Pauley was the vocalist of Jamie's Elsewhere, and he left Jamie's Elsewhere to do Of Mice and Men.
Okay.
And so he was sitting like 6 feet away from me. We're like just chilling at the same table doing a meet and greet. And like it ended up, I think it was a Sleep Token started playing or some shit. And then like we literally just ran from the meet and greet. Like you're not supposed to do that. Like we just looked. I was like, yo, I gotta go, bro. I'm gonna go watch Sleep Token. Like whoever set up this fucking meet and greet is not a good person. Like they could have done this like 2 hours ago. We had all day. They wanted to do it now during Sleep Token set. I'm out of here. And so I just run away. And then by the time I get to the sleep, or like I'm like halfway to Sleep Token, I stop and I turn around and I see like Aaron Pauley's like running up behind me, and he's just like, yo, let's go watch Sleep Token. Hell yeah. And for me, it's like looking back at that, I'm like, that is just so weird that I had a moment with this dude, because it just feels like not even that long ago, even though it was 13 years ago, which was a very long time ago, I guess. I was like idolizing this dude, and now we're just running through the fucking a festival trying to go watch a band that we like. You know, I talk to people on Instagram all the time that I used to look up to, and it's just so weird to see how, just like the car community, actually, everybody is really humble. Everybody's just a dude. Everyone's trying to do their thing, and everybody gets put on this pedestal to make them seem like there's something else. But at the end of the day, all we want to do is just run away from meet and greets and run to see Sleep Token through a festival. You know what I mean? And like, that's the coolest shit. It's like I met the Sleep Token dudes. They're just cool. You know, they're all nice people. And you never think about shit like that. You just see them on stage and you never think twice about it until you actually see them off stage.
Yeah, it's very easy to forget that like everybody's still just a human being at the end of the day. Like they've got shit to do. They've got, you know, their own shit going on, their own struggles. Is just because you know who they are, or they seem bigger than the normal person, that you assume that like they've got this crazy life and all this other shit, or they don't walk on the same earth that we do. And it's like similar, like, you know, I was a fan of, I can't remember how we started chatting, but like I was a big fan of even previous or before Lorna Shore, of like some of the covers and stuff like that. They're originally coming out. I think I found one of your covers just before that came out, before Hellfire came out. And I was like, oh, fuck, this dude's nuts.
That's terrible.
And then that comes out. I was like, shit, I just watched one of his videos like a month ago. And then I want to say it was like Atlanta, where you had DM me, or I'd mentioned something on the podcast about, you know, oh, this metal singer's like really into drifting, and I think this is fucking awesome. And then next thing I know, you and I are chatting, and you're telling me to shout out T-Pain in front of a massive audience.
Dude, I was literally
still the funniest thing.
Dude, I'm like with my band. I'm like, I just told Jacob to shout out T-Pain right now. You think he's gonna do it? You think he's gonna do it? I think that was FD. Was it FD?
Yeah, it was FD.
Yeah, we were at the studio when I told you the FD that we missed, because we were at the studio, and we're all just sitting on the couch, and I'm just watching FD, and I'm just like looking at the TV, and I'm like, I told him, you think he's gonna do it? You think he's gonna do it? And then he just like, and shout out T-Pain, and I was just like, yeah, let's go. I was like, did you see that? Did you see that?
I just text that guy.
You just shouted out T-Pain.
I got to do this now. Next time you're about to go live somewhere, I'm just going to hit you up and be like, bro, you got to do this thing. I'm watching. All the pressure's on you.
I'll do it. I'll find a clever way
That's the scary part.
To say, I don't know, someone's name in a sentence.
It's like the weatherman that does all the lyrics put in. Yeah.
He just did
Oblivion.
He just did Oblivion. I like that guy. I texted my manager. I was like, is this real? Or is this not real? And she was like, no, it's real. He does that. I was like, wow.
Yeah, it's cool. We do this up in the booth because like there are times where it gets slow up there, and you still got to be entertaining and shit. And you have to keep your brain going, even though it's like kind of nothingness going on.
I mean, you have to be at 100 for like 6 hours straight, so I can imagine.
Yeah. I mean, you know exactly what it's like, but just trying to stay sharp though, right? Because it's very easy just to kind of like go into autopilot and do all this shit. But sometimes people will have like a list of really fucking weird words that we have to try and get into the broadcast somehow. And we'll like check them off at our desk. And it'll be like Jared and I going back and forth, like kind of your move, my move, seeing which words we can cross off.
That's kind of
you ever hear
like bingo.
A little bit, yeah. We should do it with bingo. That would be sick.
You should make
set
a
up
bingo
card.
board. I'm just saying, like you have somebody just saying the words at random, and you just have like a whole bunch of bingo cards that you just hand out to people, and if they catch it, then it's just like,
damn, that's a good idea. That's a really good idea.
There you go. That one's for you. That one's for free. Yeah. Take that one.
I'm gonna do one at your next show. I'd be like, okay, did Will stomp really hard? Okay, yeah. Did he do the Mitch Birdman? Yeah, okay. And like just go through all of those.
How many spells did he cast with his left hand versus his right hand?
Did he whip his lapels back like mid-song? That one got
the very rare right hand spell casting. You'll never catch that one, but if you do,
that's a big one. That's your
center
score. That's your center spot. Yeah, that's got to be the big one.
That's insane, dude. I hope you come to our show. Are you going to be around in the fall?
I think the Tampa one is what I'm going to try and make it out to. Like I said, there's one I think in Europe. You guys are playing a festival that I'm going to see how that plans out. So I just booked all my shit for Ireland in a few weeks for Drift Masters.
You're going to every time I'm booking flights.
I think so. I think one of them is at a festival for, I believe I'm in Poland. No, I don't know where I'm at. One of them, Latvia, I think. And there's like a festival that's not far away. So, I mean, you know how big but small Europe is.
Oh, yeah, for sure. If you need to get in, you just, are we headlining a festival? Are we headlining it?
I don't know. You're asking me a lot of hard questions right now.
I don't even know what the festival is. I don't know. You didn't tell me anything yet. But
I have to look. I'll go. I don't have like your calendar or my calendar like overlaid. Like I could.
Like a Venn diagram.
That's a creepy level. That's a creepy level of friendship at that point.
That's fine. We could do that.
Okay.
Well, when you look,
we could definitely do it.
If we're headlining, I could definitely get you in. So you let me know, Daddy-O. We're gonna get you in there.
All right. That'll be sweet. I'll do like commentary over your behind the scenes antics.
And Will is doing the RAR. Oh, wow. Listen to that.
That would like a technical breakdown, like real-time technical breakdown of vocal skills would be
the live reaction. I can hear this right now.
We got to do, you know the kid on YouTube with the train that really likes trains and he's got like the 360 camera right in front of his face? Have you seen that?
No.
Oh, dude, this is right up your alley. He puts like a GoPro 360 like this far away from his eyes. So his face is like super wide and blown out, but he's incredibly excited about British trains and he just freaks out.
Yes.
We just do that.
Oh, yeah, dude. He's crazy. He's stoked. Like, maximum stoked for the trains.
I don't know the last time I was that excited for anything, to be honest. Like, I envy that kid's excitement towards trains. I'm like, I don't know when I've been that excited for something.
I hope that's real. I hope that's real excitement. It feels real. It feels real.
Yeah. There's no, yeah. You can usually tell when that kind of excitement is forced. And I'm not picking that up from that dude.
Exactly. No, I love that.
Yeah.
My feed on Instagram is full of brain rot now. I don't know what's going on. I feel like everyone's feed slowly became brain rot, like all at the same time, or maybe just me.
It's probably just what's going on. Like I've got an 11-year-old and like the shit he watches, I'm like, what is this? And then I'll go back and rewatch some of the shit that we watched in 2012, and it's like, just weird, stupid. I mean, Vine. Let's just say it, Vine. Like, go back and rewatch old Vine stuff. And you're like, this is what I thought was funny. It's still funny. It still holds up to this day. But you're like, this crafted my sense of humor in a way that I didn't know at that time.
Probably. But hold on. Let me just stop you right there.
Okay.
Do you say you have an 11-year-old?
I got 3 kids, dude.
You have an 11-year-old?
I have an 11-year-old. He's going to be 12 next month.
A full kid.
Yeah, dude, that's
not like a baby. That's like
no, dude.
Like he's walking.
He's a teenager
talking.
next year. Yeah.
How old are you?
He's got opinions. I'm 34. I just had kids really young.
Wow.
Well, not. I mean, 22, 23. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah, dude, I love it.
You look great. You look great. You got 3 kids. One of them's he's about to be a teenager. How excited are you for that?
You know what? It's a cool age in a lot of ways because like he's gotten into drifting. Like I got to give him a ride along for the first time a couple weeks ago, and like it was one of those moments where I had to like kind of like we pull the car and he's like, "Dude, Dad, you did awesome," and I'm like, "Thanks, man," and like kind of just walked to the truck and had like a little teary moment to myself. Like it's that kind of shit because it's like that's the fun. That's the best part of being a parent is going through those things. Like there's so many tough things about being a dad. You know, trying to as a dad, all you want to do is give them a better life than you had, right?
Of course.
Like that's all it is. And I didn't have a shitty upbringing or anything like that. It was weird, like anybody. There's a bunch of divorces, you know, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
But like, you know, he's into drifting now. He's into gaming. He's into, you know, certain animes and stuff. And it's like, cool, you got this from me or you got that from Mom. And I can see all these different things that, you know, are from either myself or my wife, Jess. And it's like, that part's kind of cool. Or like, we'll point it out where my daughter will do something just so fucking weird. Like the other night or last night, she'll sit in her room and she's a big Attack on Titan fan.
Hell
like,
yeah. That's a good
I bought
one.
her the full box set. Yeah, I know. Like, I'm like, that's a good one to get into. Little fucked up, but she like
a little bit.
She came into the living room, like they've got a hallway and then it like turns and it's all tiled. And I was like, Zay, like, I need you here for a second. And just slides on her back, all the way through the house, around the corner on tile. And she's still on the floor and just looks at me. She's like, yeah. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? And I look at my wife, I'm like, that's you. That is that weirdness. That is 100% you. But like,
dude,
it's those moments where you're like, what the fuck? But I don't know, man. It's so hard to describe being a dad.
Listen, it's got to be very rewarding.
Yeah, it's the most difficult thing I've ever done, 100%. But it is by far the most rewarding thing I've ever done.
I'm stoked that you were able to get your kid in the car with you. I think that is just like super sick, dude. Like my girlfriend has a kid and he's only like 4 or 5 years old. So he's definitely not near any age that he can go in a car.
Nah, you're fine. Just put him in a booster seat. You're good.
That would be insane. You're probably not wrong, but you know, we're not there yet. Needless to say, I think that would be so sick to just like, I don't even know how to say, just like introduce somebody into this world, and it's like you're somebody. It's not like just any random person, which is still a good feeling to bring them in. Somebody in, it's like, oh, they don't know what the hell's going on. You put them in a car. Yo, this is sick. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But when it's your child, I can only imagine that's probably like you are sculpting a drifter one day. You know that? Like he'll when are you gonna get him a sim? Now he's gonna become that 14-year-old kid who just won like FD.
Yeah. We've got a little setup here, but I should invest in like a better setup. I just ordered seat brackets so I can get them in the car. I'm like, you know what? Let's just go right past the sim. Oh, like OSW is 25 minutes from my house. So, you know, go rent out the skid pad, bring some buddies. I wanted them to drive the G, but he couldn't see and reach the pedals at the same time.
Right.
But I throw seat sliders in and raise the seat up a little bit and it'll be fine.
You got to get, what is that thing that they do where they extendo the pedals?
Oh, the pedals? Yeah, could do that.
You got to get him his own drift car. Be like,
we'll see about his own drift car. He's got a dune buggy, like a little, I don't know, like 9 horsepower dune buggy thing. He owns it for, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks. And he's like, Dad, I want to repaint it. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, go for it. He's like, I'm going to strip the whole thing down to the bare chassis and I'm going to repaint it. And I'm like, awesome. I don't recommend doing that because you'll never get it back together again. And he's like, no, it's fine. It's been 3 months and it's still like, they just got the wiring working in it again. Like him and one of his buddies comes over and they'll wrench on the car. But it's like, nothing I can say to him is going to tell him, or he won't believe me because I'm his dad, right? Like, what the hell do I know?
Of course, he doesn't care what you think.
Yeah. That's everybody's like that with their dad. Like, oh, you don't know anything, old man. Listen, I've taken apart so many fucking things I never put back together.
Listen, he is a typical. You can tell right there that he is a car guy in the making.
Yeah. It'll be good. I'm hoping I can get him out on track this year. I think that'd be, I mean, at least a skid pad, get him out and do some donuts and shit. But when he had the buggy running, he was ripping around the backyard. He had the back end kicked out. I'm like, It's all there. It's all
Dude.
there, man.
You are one of the sickest parents then, straight up. I love it when, like, I now as an adult, like, you know, you see these kids doing the stuff on Instagram and like, whether they're like the best snowboarders in the world or like these great drivers, and you're just like, you think back and you're like, what the hell was I doing when I was that age? And I would probably, me, not much good stuff, you know what I mean? But like, I wish that my parents, I mean, I grew up in like a definitely like a poor family, so we didn't really have a lot of opportunity to do a lot of that stuff. But in my mind, I wish that like, if I ever become a parent, I'm putting them in. I'm like, yo, you want to do some cool shit, dude? Yeah, you can go smack the baseball if you want to do that. Or we could, you know, you could become the world's best drone flyer in the world, or freaking, I don't know, anything. Just something that's way cooler than the shit that I was raised doing, which I'm not taking it away. That stuff's cool for some people, but.
Yeah, but that's what I said. Like, you just want to give your kid a better life than you had. And that's it. That should be the only goal of a parent, at least in my opinion.
I think you're doing a great job.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Thanks, buddy. He's cool shit. All three of my kids are super cool. And I'm stoked. I love it. I mean, would you consider yourself like a stepdad yet? Or are you just like, I'm just the cool dude you get to see every once in a while?
I would say that I'm still the cool dude. I haven't seen him enough. I would say I would be more like in that area of stepdad if he were to ever come here, which I'm not fully there yet. I've never thought about having, I mean, in my late 20s, I never thought about, like, I was like, I'm probably not going to ever have a kid. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's where I was at that point. Exactly. You know, you never really do it. I didn't plan to start dating somebody that just had a kid. I was just like, I really love this person and she's got a kid, and I'm willing to do what I got to do. So I'm still wrapping my head around it. I do love this freaking kid though. He is the cutest chicken nugget, like, in the entire world. He barely speaks any English at all. He only speaks mostly French. And when he speaks French, it just sounds like it is like the littlest, kiddest voice ever. And I'm like, it's so crazy when I hear him say, like, hello, Will. And I'm like, this kid is freaking awesome. One day, I'm going to know that this is what you sounded like, but you're never going to have any idea. And and your voice is going to be deep one day. It's not going to be like this anymore. It's not going to be cute and freaking and cuddly. It's going to be annoying and, you know, like my voice, raspy or some shit. I don't know.
Have you always had the raspy voice? Like, is that just a byproduct of fucking up singing early on?
I don't know.
There's no videos of you at like 14.
I just never really thought about it, and if my voice did somehow deteriorate over the years, it was such a slow thing that I never exactly noticed anything. You know what I mean? I was just like, oh yeah, here's my voice. I can still sing stuff, so that's pretty cool. I'm like, hey, my voice ain't completely shot yet. If I can still do some cool singing and it's not bad, that means I haven't completely killed it.
The clean vocal stuff's been good. Like, it's cool to see you move into a lot of that now. And you said you're not listening to as much metal or deathcore or anything else. Like, you're kind of into the other stuff. Like, could you ever see yourself doing like a full album, either outside of Lorna or a solo project of just cleans?
Absolutely. I want to do it.
Easy, yes.
It would just be fun. Like, again, it'd be like if I did it for myself and nobody liked it, but I liked it, like, I would still just be stoked to do it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I have a couple things that, like, I have been working on already to, like, start going down that route, but I spoke to my manager about it and I was like, hey, what are my options if I wanted to put out like a solo singing album that has literally nothing to do with Lorna Shore, can't take business away from Lorna Shore in any way whatsoever? And he was like, well, you're still signed to the record label. And I was like, yeah, but it has nothing, it's not metal, it doesn't affect it. And they were like, well, because you're signed to a record label, you technically can't put out any music. And if you do, the record label could just take all the rights to it and then they just make all the money off of it. And then that's pretty much what happens. And I'm like, you know what?
Let me just hold on to this for a minute.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm working on it.
All right.
We'll see what happens. Hopefully, like next couple of years, dude. I just want to sing. I want to sing for you guys.
I mean, you can keep crushing out the covers and stuff, anyways. Like that's not, that's I guess some way of scratching that itch.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's why I do it.
Yeah, that's fair. Is there anybody like you? Either you're working. You don't have to like give me anything, but like anybody you really want to cover or be able to cover. Like, is there a vocal range where you're like, I wish I could hit that. Like that shit gives me chills, but it's just not in my wheelhouse.
I would say Sleep Theory is pretty good. I like them a lot.
Okay.
Sleep Theory is great, actually. I've been listening to them a lot, like just driving from, I don't know, one place to another. I'm like, yeah, what am I going to put on Spotify? Boom. Sleep Theory, let's try that. Because obviously it sounds like Sleep Token. It actually came up like that. Like, I don't even know. I was like, oh, maybe this is Sleep Token or something. And then I clicked on it. I was like, oh, this is not Sleep Token. But it's actually fucking awesome. And he has like this super, I don't even know what you want to call it, like an R&B, metalcore-y singing style. And I love it, dude. I love it. I don't know if I'll ever sound like that, but I want to. I don't know.
It's just a practice thing. It may not be just your natural range. You'd have to push for it, right?
I mean, the problem is also is like you don't want to, when you start pushing for things, it becomes unsustainable. So it's just like at a certain point you have to accept that like, yeah, your vocal range isn't there yet, or it might not ever be there ever. And that's okay. But there's a bunch of other songs that are in your wheelhouse, like Sleep Token I can do. What's that? Who made Black Hole Sun?
Oh, Chris Cornell?
Yeah, that's
Fuck off,
easily
you can cover Chris Cornell.
That is an easy cover, bro. My voice is in that range, no problem. You know what I mean? Like, there's a bajillion other good songs by other people that I could do. So,
I'm calling bet on anything fucking Chris Cornell of. I need to see that. Like, I'm a massive Chris Cornell fan, so.
I only said that because one of my friends who's writing the clean music was like, dude, I already wrote the instrumental. You have to do Black Hole Sun. What do you think? Your voice would be great.
A tough song. I could see it though. I could see it. It's just some of the inflections that are in it, and like the way that he plays with the tonality is so unique that I'm not saying you can't. I have to hear it.
Listen, people are going to hate it or they're going to love it. Someone's going to be like, I heard it the old way so many times. I can't hear it the Will Ramos way, which I don't blame him for.
Yeah, but I look at like when David Draymond covered, oh God, why am I blanking right now? I'm usually really good with this.
Well, you did
from Disturbed.
Say what?
Covered the lead singer of Disturbed when he covered it was like a Simon Garfunkel song. Why can't I think of the name?
Are you talking about the one that was on the radio?
Probably.
Hold on, this is why I got the internet. Look, check this out. I got this shit right here.
All right. I didn't want to bust at the keyboard.
I'm in.
You're going to say it, and I'm going to punch myself right in the face.
It's going to be, let's see. What the hell is his name again from Disturbed?
David Draymond.
Put it on the screen.
Pull it up, Jamie.
Jamie, pull it up on the screen.
That's
David Draymond covers what? You don't even know. Covers Enter Sandman, fucking Metallica. Nope. We got Metallica. Oh, here we go. The Sound of Silence. Yeah, that was it.
Sound of Silence.
That was the song. That song was all over the radio in Europe huge. When it came out.
Yeah. No, it's huge. But like that, you listen to it, you think ahead of like what Disturbed sounds like. You're like, of course, he's got the range to do that. But like, you would never think that he would, right? It just doesn't make sense.
No.
But that version is so fucking good. Arguably better than the original.
I mean, I think that's the coolest thing about it is like a lot of these songs I feel like are written for, I mean, whether you hear them in a higher range or you don't, a lot of them can be done in other ways that people don't even think about because they've heard it so many times. And I think that's part of the reason why I love doing covers of like songs that have female vocalists, because I will never sound like a female vocalist. I can only recreate the song in my own way that will still sound good because it's just a dude doing it, and it doesn't sound anything like how it's supposed to sound. It's their own take on it. It's my own take on it. He Disturbed. This man just does the same exact thing. He takes it, he does his own spin on it. It sounds completely different and sounds great.
Yeah, I guess when you take it so far away from the original, people don't compare it as much. Whereas if you're trying to do a one-for-one cover, then you have something to compare it to. Like you can put them side by side and be like, oh, this is where you fucked up. But if you do it completely different, then you're like, this is, the lyrics are the same or very, very close, but it's a completely different song at that point.
Exactly. I love that. Like I think Sleep Token did Hey Ya.
Yeah.
And they did that. That doesn't even sound like Hey Ya.
Yeah.
It sounds sad. Hey Ya is a party song, dude. I love that song. And then they were like, nah, we're gonna make this thing really freaking sad.
Yeah, super depressing.
Doesn't sound the same at all, and I love it. It's great.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if that's the plan with Black Hole Sun, but that'd be interesting.
Exactly.
Like, okay, all right.
Listen, we're gonna see. We're gonna see. I only got 7 days left till I leave for tour. And I got East Coast Bash tomorrow, East Coast Bash the day after that. We're shooting a music video, believe it or not. I
saw that in Philly,
Yeah. So,
damn. I was half tempted to be like, what's the cost for a flight to Philly?
Dude.
Like,
we heard that there were people coming from like Australia to do this video.
I bet.
That's insane to me.
But like, I mean, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. Why wouldn't somebody, right?
I'm stoked for them. It just blows my mind that some slonky ass dude from New Jersey that was playing in fucking, I don't know, Dingbats, which is like not the greatest venue in the whole world, not that long ago, is like, now we're getting people that are flying from Australia to join to be a part of a music video. That's, to me, it's surreal. But you should come because I think it would be sick. It's great.
I mean, listen, the way I see it is, one, you're going to be busy. I don't want to bug you at work. Two, I want to make sure like somebody else, like I don't want to take a spot from somebody who this would completely alter their life or be like a massive, massive thing.
Right.
I'll see you around. Like it would be cool. I'd love it. That'd be a cool thing to like point at, but I don't want to be holding a spot for somebody who this could be something big for them.
We're going to put your face on a broom. Don't worry. You'll be there. We'll tape it on and we'll just hold it up. And your face will be there like...
there'll be like one teal hat in the crowd.
Yeah,
like,
that teal
right there.
You'll see it from a mile away. I'm telling all my boys, I'm like, get all of the secret Easter eggs, bring them. We're bringing Richard Duster. We're bringing a Texas Roadhouse steak. Texas Roadhouse steak is definitely going to be... Someone has to eat this in the front of the fucking stage, like...
That's so
on
funny.
a plate.
Are you an Easter egg person? Like I hide Easter eggs and shit all the time. And like some of them are such deep cuts. Like, so I used to do video editing for a living and I would hide my company logo in almost every video I produced. So I could always show like I did this. Like I did do a thing for a gym years ago and I took like the label off of a whey protein bottle and put my company logo on it. Like, and it was like an ad for this company. So I could always go back and be like, I edited this video. Here's definitive proof.
That's actually crazy. That's genius. I haven't done anything like that yet.
You got to start hiding shit, man. Like people love, like the internet loves looking for stuff.
What I
We're all
wanted
just Where's Waldo kids.
I mean, listen, we had when we were trying to do like hint at the music video stuff in the first place before we even got there, there were people like deciphering, like going into like a deep Reddit, like anonymous style. Yeah. Like they were like, wait, they pulled up the entire page, which is like a blank screen, and they pulled it up in like some kind of code HTML format, which allows them to see that there are a couple ones and zeros on the opposite side that are hidden, which could mean that in this order of ones and zeros, it means that something is happening. You know what I mean? I'm reading this, I'm like, what are you people doing right now? Just wait like 4 days and we'll just tell you what's happening.
But you guys started with the billboard, which is sick. I text you immediately. I'm like, whoever your marketing company is, genius, like give them a pay raise. But you look at what is going on with Sleep Token right now, and they're doing the same stuff, and it gets the fandom going. Like people want to look for answers. So if you can hide shit, like I don't know whether or not there's like, this is considered to be like a double album. That's like the main theory right now. But like, I like Sleep Token, but I'm not a massive Sleep Token fan. But for me, I'm a huge Easter egg fan. So I'll go and start digging into this shit because I enjoy the hunt more than I actually even enjoy the band.
I get that. I am the same way with, I used to play Call of Duty Zombies, like Black Ops back in the day, when they didn't tell you how to do the Easter eggs. So you'd have to like do this whole thing and like fuck around, go on YouTube, watch playthrough videos, and that was fun. Like I very much enjoyed it, and I think that's why people also love the sleep token thing. I think that it's really sick that they even put Easter eggs all over the place. If they even are Easter eggs, maybe they're not. Maybe it's just the community has overthought the shit out of it, and then it's like some, you know, like deep cut conspiracy, like how people, bro, I'm not even gonna, they think it's a conspiracy. Like, dude, this is what they're talking about. And it's like Mr. One is there just like, I just like flamingos, dude. Like, I don't know. I threw them in there.
I just like flamingos.
I like flamingos.
Yeah, but there's some like 21 Pilots, I think, is one of the bands that have done like the lore shit so well. I don't know if you ever dove into it. If you get a chance, like what 21 Pilots has done throughout albums and stuff is wild. Like they've created this whole background world similar to like a Sleep Token or a Ghost, where it's like there's a whole lore behind the music. And if you want to just listen to 21 Pilots and like their music, you can. But if you want to dive into the meaning behind songs and music videos and shit, you could be days and days and days of research on it. And like for a lot of people, like, oh, I just know Blurry Face and that song's amazing. But like that band went fucking hard when it came to their lore.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know that at all, and I love 21 Pilots. I think they are so good. And I've gone on like I've gone on just like random, not like rabbit holes of knowing the information, but just like going through their YouTube thing. Like they have that. I saw, what was it, like a collab, not even a collaboration, like a montage or just like a whole bunch of different like music videos of all of theirs like stuck together, and you can just see how diverse the music is. There's like one where he's literally like,
so
they sit in silence, and he's just literally screaming it. And I'm listening to this, I'm like, this is actually really fucking good. And then there's, I mean, they even did, they partnered with Arcane, I think.
Yeah.
And they did The Line, which is, come on.
Right?
Come on. I'm not going to lie. I did a cover of that song because I loved it so much. And I haven't even put it up yet. But like, he has so many juicy lines, and his rhythm is all...
I mean, you know, the word syncopation is the big thing right now. But like, it just does not care. Doesn't care what is supposed to be. There's one of the lines in a song is like, something along the lines of like, these last three lines, if you read them, doesn't make sense until it's been said. And it like makes sense. Like if you actually read out, you're like, this does not have a proper rhythm to it. But the way he's able to skip and accentuate syllables makes it on beat. And you're like, what the fuck? Like this is some crazy Eminem shit rhyming stuff with orange.
Wait,
but it's,
what's the name of the song?
It's the last three lines may read incorrect until said, I believe is the actual lyrics.
All right, hold on. See, this is what the last three lines may read incorrect. I don't know. Let's just find that. Let's try that.
Until said.
Until
21 Pilots.
Said 21. Damn, you put a lot on the screen.
Yeah. Love the clicky keyboard, by the way.
Dude, bro,
more of a linear guy. I'm all linear.
They gotta click. If they ain't...
No. I don't know if mine will even come up, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my microphone is also like, you're right next to the keyboard, so you're getting max.
That's fair. I feel like I'm there. I feel like we're hanging out.
Are you talking about Chlorine?
That's it. Yeah.
I'm gonna listen to it later on.
Do it. That whole album's really good. Really good.
I mean, he's just got a way with I don't even know what you want to call it. Everything, I guess. It's just a well-made brand. Now that I know there's a lore behind it, that changes everything.
Yeah. Yeah, the song Trench is a good one. Levitate. If you watch a music video for Levitate, it's like, it actually shows the lore. It's like this group of people that like worship glass and like blowing glass, and they make a cult around it. And the music video for Levitate actually shows it. And it's fucking wild. But
a cult behind blowing glass.
This is what I'm saying. Like it's crazy. You would also like the song Pet Cheetah, because Pet Cheetah is about how difficult it is to write songs under a deadline. Just so good. But yeah, 21 Pilots, I mean, does not get, they have a couple of songs that blow up, and he talks about how the only time he's actually creative is when he's playing shows, because I have to pay the bills of certain albums, but I'll hide tracks in that like they don't want me to have in there. But that's the song for me. Like there's a couple albums that are true like artist albums. It was made to speak to other artists. So if you like go back, listen to discography again. If you do it, listen to discography in order of like their oldest stuff to the newest, and it'll blow your mind, because it's all 21 Pilots, but he changes who he's speaking to the whole time. Like early album is kind of like his depressed teenage self, and then it becomes like present, and then it becomes like this is music for other artists. This is music for like my wife and my grandfather, and like the songs I wish I could have wrote earlier, or I did write earlier but couldn't be on an album, but now I'm famous so I can put them on an album. Like
that's so sick,
masterpiece.
Dude.
Oh, dude,
you're in on this.
Oh yeah. Yeah, big 21 Pilots.
That is awesome. when I'm gonna learn about this, and then the next time we see each other, we're gonna have to have a full 21 Pilot nerd out.
I'm down. All right. Do you have a band that I need to listen to? Like, I feel like we need to trade this off.
Have you listened to Sleep Theory?
I haven't, so I'll do that.
Kablam, baby. There you go.
Right,
I had a feeling. I was like, I'm gonna say it, and if he doesn't emote and start fucking bubbling up and shit, that he definitely doesn't know this band.
I did the agreeable nod to keep you talking.
Yeah, I can tell. Listen, you're good at that.
Yeah.
This is how you know that you're gonna be a great podcaster, my dude.
I appreciate that. Thank you. This is one of my first like non-drifting specific or automotive specific podcasts. So I've done a few with like my wife and stuff like that. But no, I appreciate it, man.
Listen, I'm just stoked that we were able to make it work. That I could be here, man. I'm sorry that it was a whole back and forth, left and right. I'm telling you, I don't have a lot of time before I leave on tour, and especially a lot of time before these event days. So there's so many things I'm trying to cram into
I hear you.
a day, so
yeah. No, that's why I truly appreciate it. I know how busy my life is, and I know I can only assume how insane yours is about to get. So I appreciate you taking a bit of time out to do this, and yeah, it just means a lot. It was like, I don't know, I have a hard time accepting where I'm at right now, like with my career and everything else. Like, it's just very difficult for me to come to terms with it. So I was even saying to my wife before this, I'm like, well, like, Will's got no reason to fucking do this with me. Like, he's got so much other shit on the go. Like, it's just one of those moments where I'm like, I'm taking up too much of his time. She's like, he's a buddy at this point. Like, fuck, he's doing it because he wants to do it. Like, he doesn't have to. So
I'm just happy to be chatting with you, my dude. You know what I mean? Like, you're my
thanks,
boy.
Man.
You're like, hey, I want to bring you on. I'm like, fuck yeah, why the hell not? I mean,
yeah.
If there was no, I would have just told you no right off the bat. I'm stoked to be here, and I'm stoked to just talk about 21 Pilots and car bullshit and
drifting
stuff.
and
exactly.
Yeah. No, it's good. I'll definitely send this to your PR person, though. I have a feeling that we got to cut some shit.
Nah.
All right.
I ain't worried about it. They know I'm not saying anything terrible.
Until something gets fucking quoted in Revolver, and then you're like, bro, I need you to take that down.
Listen, I've probably said worse things on the internet, on other podcasts or whatever I was on, so I'm not worried about it. That's why I was very vague. Certain things I was just like bad stuff. I was like vaguely speaking of bands that people who you know what I mean? I'm trying to.
Yeah, I got you.
No PR people here, baby. We're fucking sending that shit.
Sick. Well, I'm looking forward to the new album for sure. Very, very excited for that. I did find out our crossover dates. My wife was listening, and she like handed me a whiteboard with notes on it. So you're in Germany while I'm in Finland, and then when you're in Finland, I'm in Ireland. So that one might work because my wife and I are both in Ireland at that time. She was with me in Orlando.
We're headlining Finland.
Let me look at the dates. Maybe her and I will take a trip from Ireland. She's fucking nodding at me. She already quoted, it's $800 round trip. So I'm going to take that out of my budget.
Wow.
And maybe I'll fly from Ireland to Finland to come see you for a day or two, and then fly back to Ireland.
Yeah, we're headlining, so we could totally get you in. No problem.
Sick.
I love playing Finland, dude.
Dude, they're wild. The Finnish people are insane. They've already warned me for Drift Masters that like, they're just going to mob. And I'm like, all right, I'm ready.
They are some of every time that we've ever played Finland, it's like, I got these in-ears in. They're really fucking expensive. So they're basically go custom molded like into my brain. I can't hear anything exactly. And I can hear the crowd through the in-ears with all the stage volume. It's just screaming shit back. And I'm like, that is the coolest thing. Like Finland, very cool. So if you guys want to come, I could definitely get you in, especially because we're headlining. That's why I asked before, because if we're headlining, we got a little bit more push and shit. So
fair enough.
You let me know. I'm stoked that you guys can make it. Thank you, Jacob's lady. I don't know what your name is, but thank you very much.
Jesse or Jess. Yeah.
Jess.
But
thank you.
Jess. All right. I'll tell her. All right, dude. Well, I'm not going to hold you up any longer. You have fucking the time of your life this weekend. Say hi to the boys at E-Town for me. I'm stoked that you get to shred before going on tour. That's like, what a great way to kick off what is going to be a nuts year.
I feel the same exact way. So thank you for having time for me, dude. I'm stoked.
Dude, no, thank you. Thanks for having time for me. And if you guys don't already follow Will shit, if you follow Will for music, follow him for drifting. If you're here from drifting, you should probably listen to what he does musically because it's pretty cool. I have no idea why anybody would be here, but I mean, fucking thanks for hanging out this far. So
I'm just happy to be here, man. Thanks for talking to me about anything. Honestly, anything. 21 Pilots, you know, fucking whatever, bro. I can't wait to lock in. So,
everything and anything. That's the goal. So
I'll tell everyone you said what's up, and we'll chat soon, my friend.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the Anything podcast. I really appreciate it. Make sure to check out all the links down below. If you like this show, let me know who you'd like me to have on next. The goal is to have just a wide variety of people. You may have come here from the Outer Zone or some of the other content that I do. The goal here is to be able to bring on anybody and everybody, to have similar conversations to what you're used to from that podcast, but without the restrictions of it just being about drifting. There's going to be a fair bit of drifting content because that's the people I know, but I do know a lot of other people in other spaces, and I want to make sure that I had an opportunity and a place to be able to record with them. So thank you so much for the support here and the support with everything else. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to do my best to have these come out as often as possible, but for right now, just hang tight and make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications or anything else. That way you can be up to date on everything that's going on. And once again, thank you so much for supporting this show. We'll catch you soon.